friends, this is Normal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to compare two mid-range phones, the Moto G5 with the Redmi Note 4. So these two phones are priced 11,999. We have the Moto G5 with 3GB RAM and 16GB storage for 11,999, while we have the 3GB RAM and 32GB storage on the Redmi Note 4 for 11,999. So in this video we'll talk about all the aspects and see which is a better device to buy and which is the better value for money offering in this price segment. So without any further delay, let's get started. So first up, let's see the design and build quality. So design wise, both these devices are quite good looking devices out there, but we have a size difference. We have 5 inches on the Moto G5 with when you compare with the 5.5 inch screen size on the Redmi Note 4. But having said that, both these devices have a metallic chassis. You can see the metallic back panel. On the top we have a plastic finishing, and the advantage with the Moto G5 is that it has a removable back cover and also removable battery if that is your priority. But the Redmi Note 4 has an unibody construction. Now both these devices are quite good in terms of the build quality and fit and finish, and design also looks quite good. Now it's a personal choice on whether you liked the design of the Moto G5 or the Redmi Note 4. So there are some differences like the fingerprint scanner, which is on the front panel on the Moto G5, whereas it's on the rear panel on the Redmi Note 4. So there are some smaller differences between these two devices in terms of design, but the compact device is definitely the Moto G5 because it's a smaller display and it's easier to use with one hand. On the other hand, the Redmi Note 4 is slightly bigger because of the bigger display. Now let's move on to the display. So we have a 5 inches display on the Moto G5, which is a full HD display, the 1080p display, and we also have the 1080p display on the Redmi Note 4, while it's a 5.5 inches bigger display. Now the display quality looks quite good on both these devices. Neither of them have any added protection like the Corning Gorilla Glass or any other protection. The Redmi Note 4 comes with a toughened glass, and it's almost the same case with the Moto G5. There is no mention of the Corning Gorilla Glass support. So it is advisable to use a scratch resistant glass when you're using either of these devices. Now the display quality looks quite good on both the devices. The touch response feels quite smooth on both the phones. But having said that, because it has a smaller display, the Moto G5 has a larger pixels per inch, and this actually feels the display a bit more sharper than the Redmi Note 4. But having said that, both the displays are quite good and offer great experience. Now let's talk about the software and the performance. So this is one area where there is a massive difference. One is a stock-like UI, and we have Android 7.0, while we have a completely customized UI on the Redmi Note 4 with MIUI. Now let's first talk about the Moto G5. So we have a stock-like UI. You can see it has exactly the same UI like the stock experience. No added apps or features are included except for the Moto app, which provides some actions and gestures. So that's the only app which Moto provides in this device, and it provides with some gestures like chop twice for flashlight, twist for quick capture, smaller display, then flip to mute the display, and one button nav where you can disable the on-screen buttons and use the fingerprint scanner as the navigational buttons. And then there is also Moto display, which is always on kind of display, which shows some notifications. So that's only added feature. And if you look at the quick toggles and notification area, it is exactly the same as that of stock UI, and you can also see the settings. No additional features are included. So that's the UI and feature of the Moto G5. Now talking about the Redmi Note 4, we have a custom UI, that's a MIUI. You can see the customized notification and quick toggle area. The settings panel is also customized. We are currently using a theme, and you can see the amount of customization this device can do, and a lot of additional features are also included like dual app support, then a second space, light mode, child mode. These are some of the really useful features. So that's one area where the MIUI is really good, but it does not have the latest version of Android, where the Moto G5 has the Android 7.0. This has Android 6.0. So it's a personal choice whether you want the latest version with stock-like UI, then go for Moto G5, and if you're a person who are particular about the Android version, then definitely the Moto G5 is a device to choose. But if you're a person who loves a lot of customization like themes, wallpapers, icons, and whatnot, you can do with the Redmi Note 4. So that's one area where the MIUI 8 really shines, and that's probably one of the good aspects about this device as well. Now talking about the performance of these two devices, so the Snapdragon 430 is the chipset which powers the Moto G5, while it's the Snapdragon 625 on the Redmi Note 4. So the Redmi Note 4 definitely has a more powerful chipset, and it also has additional storage, that's 32GB storage when compared to the 16GB on the Moto G5. Now talking about the day-to-day experience, both these devices were quite good in terms of the experience, and neither of them exhibited any lag or issues, and it was quite good experience in day-to-day experience. But when it comes to gaming, that's where the Redmi Note 4 definitely has an edge, because it has two good aspects. One is a bigger display, which helps in gaming, and a better processor. The Snapdragon 625 helps in better gaming when compared to the Snapdragon 430 on the Moto G5. So in terms of the performance, we would give it to the Redmi Note 4 in terms of the overall performance, because the gaming is much better, and also day-to-day experience was slightly better, and you also have 32GB storage available, whereas we have only 16GB storage. Now the added feature for the Moto G5 is that it comes with a dedicated SD card, so if you want to expand the storage, you can still do that without compromising on the SIM cards. So that's one good aspect. Additionally, it also comes with water repellent coating. That means in a slight rain, if you use, it won't cause any issues to the device. So that was the software and performance. Now talking about the fingerprint scanner experience, we have the fingerprint scanner on the front panel on the G5, whereas it's on the rear panel on the Redmi Note 4. Now the fingerprint scanner experience is really good on both these devices, and both can unlock the device in really good time. Now let's move on to the camera. So this is one area. Again, these two devices have a lot of similarities. We have a 13-megapixel camera on the rear panel on both these devices. We have dual LED flash on the Redmi Note 4, while it's a single LED flash on the Moto G5. Now there is a 5-megapixel camera on both these devices for selfies. Now looking at the camera interface, you could see that the Redmi Note 4 offers more features and options when compared to the pretty simple and basic UI on the Moto G5. So but then, having said that, the Moto G5 interface has quite a simple UI and easy to use as well. But if you want more features and tools, definitely the Redmi Note 4 offers much better options. Now talking about the camera samples taken between these two devices, so this is one area. It's a really difficult to choose, because you can see in daylight conditions the color quality and overall clarity looks slightly better on the Moto G5, whereas the Redmi Note 4 is not far behind in terms of the quality, but then we would choose the Moto G5 in terms of daylight experience. But when it comes to low light experience, that's where the Redmi Note 4 definitely has an edge, especially when focusing. The Moto G5 definitely had an issue with focusing close-up images, so low light experience was better on the Redmi Note 4. Now the selfie experience, again, Moto G5 plus the Moto G5 definitely had an edge over the Redmi Note 4 in terms of the selfie experience. So camera, we would give it to the Moto G5 for slightly better overall experience, even though the low light experience was better on the Redmi Note 4. Now let's talk about the battery performance. So here we have a 2800 mAh battery on the Moto G5, while it's a 4100 mAh battery on the Redmi Note 4, coupled with the Snapdragon 625 chipset. So obviously the battery performance is really good on the Redmi Note 4, and it outperforms the Moto G5 in terms of the overall battery experience. So without doubt, in terms of the battery performance, it's the Redmi Note 4. Now summing up, which is the better device to buy? Now the advantage for Moto G5 is that it has a pretty good build quality, the cameras are quite good, it has stock-like UI, and it will be probably getting the latest version of Android. So these are the good advantages or features of the Moto G5, while on the other hand we have a great build quality, good display, highly customizable software, decent cameras, and exceptional battery life, and great performance all around. Now the pricing is exactly the same, 11,999 for these two devices, but for that pricing you get additional features, better processor, better battery life, better storage, and a customizable software. So that's one area where the Redmi Note 4 definitely has an edge over the Moto G5. So unless you're really particular about the software experience, we would definitely suggest the Redmi Note 4, because it is in a great all-round package offered at 11,999. So that was the detailed comparison of these two phones, and if you plan to buy either of these devices, we have the links available in the description of this video. So hope this video was useful, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.